Jim, I guess it's just a case of trying to pick up where you left off after this break, isn't it?
Yeah, basically that's it for us. We had some really good momentum going into the international break. Obviously we had a fair few players away with their countries as well, and it was great to have the whole group back this morning, and we had a really good session.
So cliched question, but when you look at the momentum you were building, did the break come at a bad time?
I think when you're winning games and you're on the kind of run that we were on, then yeah, I mean you'd rather not have the break, but we know what the calendar looks like. We know when those breaks are coming, and sometimes they can work for you, sometimes they can work against you, but it's not a negative as far as we're concerned. We've had a number of guys got good recognition with their countries, and that's purely based off the fact that we've had such a positive start.
You've had some excellent results, some great momentum building. Is it fair to say this is the kind of litmus test this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, Rangers, we know the quality that they've got. Obviously, they'll be still hurting after their recent defeat to Celtic, and no doubt, Philippe Clement will be looking for a reaction from his players. But, we've faced some stiff opposition up to now already. The last league game against Hearts at Tynecastle, we've beaten St Mirren. Opening day fixture of the season against Dundee, really difficult game. We came through that with a positive point at the end of it, and Sunday is going to be another tough game, but there are no easy games in this league.
You've been winning games, clean sheets as well, importantly. I would imagine Rangers won't fancy this coming up here. They know they're going to be in for a real test, and I would imagine you guys must be going into it full of confidence you can get a positive result. There
is a really good feeling within the group, and I think within the supporters as well. That feel-good factor has been there right from the off, to be honest, and we're on an extremely good run, as you say. I think we're unbeaten in the last 8 or 9 games in all competitions. We spoke about being a difficult opposition to play against at the beginning of the season in one of our very early meetings. No team should outrun us, no team should outfight us. Discipline and organisation against the better teams is always going to be important, but we feel we carry a threat ourselves. We've got some match winners within the group, and that's been proven up to now. We just have to make sure that we show them same qualities against Rangers on Sunday.
You've touched on this. Rangers as well have had a couple of weeks stewing, I guess, after that last result for them. Are you bracing yourself for a backlash?
Well, you only need to look to the fixture prior to Celtic, where they put 6 by Ross County. So I don't think Rangers have been playing terribly, to be honest. I actually watched the Celtic Rangers game the following day. Obviously we had our game at Tynecastle, so we weren't able to watch it live, but Rangers started the game really positively and on the front foot, and had they got that early goal when they were on top in the opening 10 minutes, then maybe things could have been different. So we're not underestimating them. The break maybe came at a good time for Philippe Clement to spend some more time with his players and getting his message across, but we tend not to focus too much on the opposition. We respect everybody we play. We do similar analysis meetings, I would imagine, to what every opposition out there does, but we try and focus on what our strengths and weaknesses are at the moment and try and just continue to improve week to week.
You've amassed a good amount of points so far this season. It perhaps could have been a bit more if you got that penalty in the derby earlier in the season. Obviously Willie Cauley coming out and saying it should have been a penalty. But just what's you taking that disappointment, I would imagine, but also refreshing the kind of openness about it as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously at the time we felt it was a penalty. I felt that moment was kind of glossed over a little bit too quickly, and the referee was never asked to go and view the monitor. But I think Willie Cauley is a great appointment in the position that he's in now. We had a really positive meeting with Willie at Hampden with the rest of the managers, and he explained, the different kind of changes that he was wanting to make. And I think this openness and transparency is a real positive for the game. We can accept mistakes. We all make them as managers, as players, and as referees, and they tend to be honest mistakes. But obviously from our perspective, that's one that obviously would have been good to have at the time in such an important and significant game. So hopefully we don't have too many more of those situations going forward.
Just finally from me, team news.
Everybody's good, everybody's fit and raring to go, and looking forward to the game on Sunday.
And I saw that Ryan Strain was back on the training pitch this week. How far away is he from fitness?
In terms of playing competitive games, he's probably another 6 weeks away. It's quite a serious surgery that he had, and the rehabilitation process does tend to take a little bit longer with those muscle injuries, but he's in a great place, mentally and physically. He's in great shape. He's been working really hard with our medical team and the sports science team, and he's chomping at the bit to get back involved, but we're trying to put the reins on him a little bit at the moment just to make sure he does things properly and we don't get any kind of repercussions of that injury. But he's in a good place, and he's the only kind of long-term absentee that we have at the moment, and thankfully so.
And it's early days to look at the league table, but going into the game, you sit in third place. It must make for nice viewing for you. Ahead of Rangers, you'll be determined to ensure it stays that way come Sunday night. Well,
yes, absolutely. That's the message to the players. It's been a really positive start. The hard part for me, I suppose, is trying to temper people's expectations, and because you get off to such a positive start, people start thinking about getting too far ahead of themselves, and I'm trying to make sure that the players don't do that. It is a good start, but that's all it is, and we've got the results that we've got through real hard work during the week on the training pitch, and then the players being really good on it tactically and in possession, and that's carried us a long way up to now, but we have to make sure that those same qualities are here on Sunday.
And we saw at the start of the season the impact of having a packed Tannadice can have on the game, and what are you expecting this weekend, another packed Tannadice, and how big a part can the fans play for the players this weekend?
Yeah, well, there's no tickets to be had. It's a complete sellout, which is fantastic. Similar to the opening day fixture against Dundee, and we're all hoping for a similar atmosphere. There was a real positive atmosphere within the stadium from our own supporters. It was, I know that the players really enjoyed being involved in that, and we're hoping that Sunday is no different. But the important thing for us in terms of our own supporters is that we show a real sign of intent from the first whistle, and that we don't over-respect the opposition, and that we show a mindset of one that we want to go and try and win the game, and that's been the message all week.
And are you likely to approach the game differently given the fact that it is Rangers visiting?
No, not at all. We've worked really hard over the last kind of 2 or 3 months in terms of making the players understand what we're asking of them in this new shape that we're playing. We're very much a 3-4-3 in attack. We want to try and be aggressive at the top end of the pitch, out of possession, but then we're quite willing at times to drop back into a 5-4-1 low block and frustrate the opposition. So I think in the 4 league games up to now, we've improved week to week. I still think there's a lot of improvement still to come from the group, but with the confidence and the momentum that we've had from recent results, that certainly can carry you a long way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The new formations that you've been playing, you've mentioned them, and the new personnel that have come in, how much has that contributed to this good start, these new systems that you've put in place and the new players that have come in?
Look, 3-4-3 is a system that a number of teams in Europe have adopted and last season, and I spent the summer pretty much analysing all these top teams all over the world and trying to come up with a system that we feel would suit our recruitment process and suit the players that we already have under contract. And I feel that this one has taken a little bit of time for the players to get used to, because a number of them haven't been involved in it before, but there's certainly signs in the recent weeks that there is now a clear understanding of what we look like in possession and what we look like out of possession. And I like the system. I think it gives you plenty of bodies going forward in attack, but it's also a very solid base to defend from as well. So it's clearly worked up to now, but we have to keep working hard on it to make sure that we can try and improve.
It's a number of years since Dundee United have won at Tynecastle, and it's been a number of years since St Johnstone have been beaten at Tannadice. We've been looking to add Rangers to this list of achievements that you've made so far this season on Sunday.
Yeah, definitely. I think the group have done great. Those small achievements that you're speaking about, I think is credit to the hard work on and off the pitch. Of course, against Rangers on Sunday, we know that the rivalry is there between the supporters. But we kind of just look at it as another game. It's another 3 points at stake. It's we wouldn't be getting too excited if we won the game, and we certainly wouldn't be too hard on ourselves if we didn't get the result that we were looking for. But the important thing for me is that the mindset and the application is the same as what it has been in the previous 8 games. We give ourselves a really good chance of getting a positive result if we're organised, if we're disciplined, and that willingness to work hard for each other is there.
How much impact does that full house have on yourselves and the management team and the players when it is just buzzing from start to finish?
Well, I think the supporters deserve, a lot of credit for sticking by the club over the last, couple of seasons. It's not been easy, obviously, but off the back of the relegation a couple of years ago. But they've always got behind us. They've always stuck with us through difficult times as well last season, and they showed the kind of impact they can have in the game against Dundee. We played against a really good team in Dundee in that opening fixture, and we were probably massive underdogs in a lot of people's eyes going into it, but the impact that they can have when they get behind the team can carry the players a long way, and we hope for similar on Sunday. There's never a doubt in terms of the supporters coming out and supporting the club, and I'm delighted that they've coming out in great numbers again on Sunday.